This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome to the series of videos on pattern programming in Python. This is our third session on the pattern programming in Python. In the last two sessions, we completed almost 9 patterns. We practiced the logic, how simply we can write the logic in Python to print the required pattern. Now, so today or in this session, we are going to cover this pattern. Something we can call it as a, because of the shape, we may call it as a pyramid of stars. How to print a pyramid of stars. Listen the logic very carefully. If you understand the logic for this pattern, you could able to finish it 11, 12, 13. So very easily we can finish these 3 patterns. We can assume it is our monitor. It is our output screen. Output screen it was. So this is the column 1 and this is column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5. If you observe that in row 1, how many stars we are printing? Is it n rows or n stars or row number of stars? Anyone? If it is a row number 1, whether we are printing n number of stars or row number of stars, we are printing row number of stars because row 1 only 1 star. In the second row, we are printing the stars, row number of stars. In third row, 3 rows. Third row, 3 stars. Row number of stars we are supposed to print. So it was decided how many stars, how many times the star has to be repeated, not n times, row number of times. Star has to be printed not n times. In every row, row number of times a star has to be printed. But if you observe that, if it is the 5th row, what about the 4 rows, boss? N value I have given 5. I want to print 5 rows. Sir, if it is a row 1, if you observe that before this star, 4 spaces, I could able to see here 4 spaces, nothing got printed, nothing. You can assume like 4 spaces. In the second row, 2 stars got printed. You can see that here 3 spaces. Sir, in the third row, 3 stars got printed and before that 2 spaces you are finding here. Can I write 4 as 5 minus 1? Can I write 3 as 5 minus 2? Can I write 2 as 5 minus 3? That means in every row before printing star symbol, in every row before printing star symbol, n number of rows minus row number means I. N minus I times we have to print something repeatedly. Are you getting my point here? Before printing star, in every row, n minus I times we need to repeat that space. Sir, we need to repeat that space n minus I times. N value, assume 5 I have given in row 1, 5 minus 1 4 times. Next row, number of rows 5 only. Row number 2, 5 minus 2 3 times. So before printing star, we should repeat something. How many times? N minus I times. So how can I do that? How can I do that? So pattern 10 it was. Pattern 10. Let me take this line. We want n value. We want n value. We want n value. Let me save the program. Pattern 10 for I in range of 1 comma n plus 1. In every row, first concentrate on star pattern. First concentrate on star pattern. Sir, how many times we have to print star pattern? Row number of times. row number of times we have to print the star pattern. Okay. So I repetition operator. So these many times what I have to repeat? Star I have to repeat. What is the meaning of this line? In every row, this symbol should be repeated. This means repeated. How many times? Row number of times. But before printing that, before printing this, we need to print something, some blank. It is some space is nothing but some blank only. So some empty string you have to print. Empty string you have to print. How many times? Just now we covered that point. N minus I times. N minus I times. So this blank should be repeated how many times? N minus I times. So as you know, print statement, if it takes argument 1 and argument 2, while printing multiple arguments, by default they are going to be separated with space. They are going to be separated with space. I don't want that space, boss. So how many of you remember at the time of discussing print we covered this point? So for example, so print some 12 comma 23. You can expect the output like this: 12 some space followed by 23. But here I am not expecting any space between the argument. That is the reason separator is empty, nothing, no space, nothing. Now let me run this program. py 10th pattern dot py sum 5. So what is happening? Nothing got printed up. But the reason I forgot to give space. But it doesn't seems to be like a pyramid pattern. Sir, I'm expecting between this star and this star some space. I am expecting this star and this star. I'm expecting some space. Okay, you do one thing: after star, just give one space. Just give one space. Now, is the point was clear? Is the point was clear? So in this print statement, this repetition will tell you how many times star should be repeated in every row. Row number of times. If row 2, star should be repeated 2 times. Whereas this logic will represent before printing star, how many spaces we have to print? Number of rows minus row number of times spaces have to be printed. Sir, the spaces have to be printed these many times. What is this separator? If you do not use this separator, it is argument 1, it is argument 2. They are by default separated with one extra space. Because for a print statement, what is the default separator? Space. One extra separator will come. One extra space will come. That I don't want. That is the reason separator is nothing. So for your understanding, let me run one more time. A very big pattern, a very big pyramid structure, 25 rows, a very big pyramid structure we printed. Now coming to the 11, sir, same logic. Instead of star, what you are printing? Row number I am printing. Just we are printing row number, boss. Just we are printing row number. So save as pattern 11. I am not printing star. I am not printing star. What I am printing? I am just printing what? F string. What you want to print? A row number. Who will represent the row number? I will represent row number. 11th pattern. py p11.py sum 10. Sum 10. Understood? Like a pyramid pattern. Now what is the pattern? 10 is over, pattern 11 is over, pattern 12. I am not printing star, I am not printing number, I want to print some alphabet. Okay. Save as Save as pattern 12, pattern 12. Here I am not going to print any row number. How many of you remember already we discussed this logic? Character representation of 64 plus I. Sir, why should I take 64 plus I? Because row number starts with 1. 64 plus 1 is 65. 65. If I convert the 65 into character representation, what will come? A will come. Capital A will come. So it is the pattern 12. Sir, it is the pattern 12. Got it, everyone? A, B, B, C, 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 D, 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 E, E, F, F. Right? So in the next video, we will see the remaining patterns.